Welcome to another episode of MasterTalk. In this series, in MasterTalk, we take you through the lives of the mentors and the masters who are teaching you via various masterclasses on our platform, MasterMentors. You get to know them up close and personal. You get to know what they're covering in the masterclass that they're going through that you can subscribe to later. And you also get to know why we've chosen these masters and mentors from all over the country and who truly represent the best that they are in their craft. So today we're going to be talking to Mr. Sumit Agarwal, who's joining us and who's creating a brilliant masterclass on LinkedIn and how you're going to use LinkedIn as a very powerful tool of communication. He is the top voice in LinkedIn. He's been featured by Forbes and Fortune magazines. Not only that, he's also an ambassador for the differently abled in India with various organizations. And I'm super glad to have you with us, Sumit. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you. I want to know not just about your professional life and what brings you to what you're doing today, being such a powerful voice on LinkedIn, helping people with their LinkedIn profiles, but also about your personal journey. I really want to know everything about it, so we can begin.
So it's a pleasure to be here, Suraj, and my story has been repeated on LinkedIn probably over 3,000 times. I'm sure people are bored of it by now, but it's very important to start somewhere, and just start before you can expect any impact. So I was born with cerebral palsy and I was not supposed to be alive, and then I had four major surgeries, one after the other. It was like a surgery marathon. It's like I was fighting to survive at such a young age. I was just being born and one after the other surgeries, that kind of experiences at such a young age changes you as a person. It opens a whole wide world of perspectives to you. Then you realize that your time on this planet is finite, and whatever you must do should have an impact, not only on you but on others around you as well.
Right. So don't you think that it's very inspiring for people like us to hear this from you, because time is finite for everybody. So I think everybody should be living with the same kind of mindset that we have a finite amount of time here and we have to make some kind of an impact, not just to ourselves but also to the others. So you must have heard this a lot of times, but I want to know from your perspective.
See, again, that is one of the perspectives I have, but there are a lot of things which I debunked in the journey of my life. For example, there are a lot of parents who used to point at me and say that, tell their children, son or daughter, that if he can get a 9-pointer, why can't you? Like, what do you mean by if he can? What am I, your poster boy for inspiration? Do I look like a Hrithik Roshan to you? What is wrong with, things are like, I'm not a motivational poster child for people. I just do what I do to survive. Right. In the process, if I thrive, I thrive, but it's a fight for survival. Whatever I have done till now, whatever I do right now, and whatever I'm doing in the future, it's a process to survival, help others survive as well.
Right. But one thing which I realized from the day one that I met you and the day one that I saw you at the event and I heard your story was that it's all about mindset. So which is exactly what you're saying, So some people might take any difficulty in life. It could be medical, it could be financial, it could be anything. And that could bog them down. But there are some who will take the difficulty in life and fight, like what you were saying. So I really want to know that, since people have asked you, that's right, but what is your message to those people, those kids or those parents who are facing someone in their family who's going through, who's differently abled, who has a special child, something like that. So what's your message to them is?
The correct term for referring to people with disabilities is people with disabilities. That is something I would like to clarify here for the audience as well as for anyone tuning into this. It's not specially abled, it's not differently abled, but it's people with disabilities, because first of all, there are people out there and they are someone with disabilities. Their disabilities do not identify them, but it's a part of their nature, but it's a part of their body. Right? That's one. The second is coming to your question. I wasn't born to fight. I wasn't born to overcome barriers. I wasn't born to handle rejection. It's just something I had to do. And that is something which you have to do when you are left with no choice, right? I had a choice that I should give up or I should fight. And then it became my natural instinct to fight for my rights, right? I wouldn't recommend that it happens to anybody in the world, because again, fighting for survival is a very life-changing experience, but it's a very harrowing experience. No, it makes you lose a part of yourself. It makes you lose a part of that innocence that you have. It brings you back to reality and binds you to it. It grinds you to a certain extent. It grounds your dreams. So it's a very harrowing experience in all. But having said that, family support comes first, because again, if I did not have such a supportive mother who quit her career for me, I probably wouldn't have been in this place, because I was rejected from 30 schools. So being rejected from 30 schools at such a young age, I knew somewhere that I wasn't wanted by anybody, right? And that gives you the feeling of isolation, deprivation, and a whole range of negative emotions to deal with. So all of this, gives you a whole set of perspectives and mindset that you have to fight for what you want in life.
Right. Great. Very, very well said. And it's so important that we all have choices in life, and then we need to choose this way or that. And I'm so glad that you chose the latter and, went for the fight. And yes, this point is very important, that your mom supported you so much. And I have, friends who are also going through this similar situation, and, the kind of support that I see and the way it's impacting the child, and I can notice the difference and how much it helps both ways. Now coming to you, like you're quite a magnetic personality. You always have this infectious smile, great with networking and great with people. You've been working with a lot of human relationship based organizations. And so tell me, as per you, how does that go? What do you think of human relationships, interactions, and then finally networking? And how important is it? How do you go about it?
See, again, talking about human relationships, right? It comes from a very personal place. For me, it comes from a very personal space, because again, with 4 surgeries, I spent more than half of my life in and out of hospitals, right? So most of the time, I used to be surrounded by doctors and nurses. So what I used to see is people who are critically ill, or they are undergoing some surgery, sleeping in a bed next to me, right? Or coming to my room just to talk to me, or the doctors or nurses coming to my room to check me up. When you are in ICU for the most of your life, when you are in different hospitals fighting for survival, you then tend to know one thing, and then it teaches you a lot of things. For me personally, it taught me that when you are fighting for survival, then all the money in your bank account doesn't matter, right? At the end, what matters is you want to feel connected to somebody, just to know that somebody is there for you when it matters the most, and the kind of impact that you have created on the people around you. That's what matters the most. People are then not talking about their bank balances or their accomplishments or their awards. So when you come from that kind of a perspective, you understand that human relationships matter the most. The number of blessings that you have and the hearts that you've touched is the currency of relationships. That's what matters the most, and that really opens up a whole different world to you. That shows you that you can choose to be either successful through your bank account, or you can choose to be successful by the number of hearts that you touched.
So I guess it's, all the dots are connecting. It's all about being genuinely who you are, knowing that, you have to be always coming from a sincere, genuine space, valuing a human connection, valuing human relationships first. And I think that comes from most of the stuff that Sumit has told us about. Like, knowing and being aware that you have a finite time in this world, knowing and being aware that, you need to make some impact for yourself and for others. And in the end, that's what's actually going to matter. So I think that was a great feedback from you for that. Now let's come to LinkedIn, where you're the pro and you're the master and you're the voice of LinkedIn. And by the way, Sumit has more than 50,000, not 50,000, I'm sorry. Sumit has more than 50 million views on LinkedIn. So tell us that story. Tell us how LinkedIn can help us, because I want to know.
So a couple of things when I talk about LinkedIn, right? Whenever I started, I think it was 2 and 3 years back, I never thought of becoming the top voice of LinkedIn. I was like, I needed a place to rant, right? I needed a place to rant, and that became my personal diary, right? And people said that it's a professional network. I was like, okay, I should topple it. I'll make it personal, right? Yeah. I have always been a rule breaker, so let's break some rules, right? And the first thing I did on LinkedIn was to make sketches and share journeys of other people, right? And that's where the people were also impressed that he's not posting professional content, he's posting sketches of us and sharing our journey. How did he, or what is he trying to do? Right? And people started reaching out to me and saying, hey, I want to follow you, you have good sketches. I'm like, okay. So, it came from I didn't have a plan, so as to say. It wasn't a planned or a structured approach that I had, but I wanted to do something different and unique, and it's something like a sketchbook that I have, like, so where I share various sketches. I share pictures of my mom, I share pictures of when I was younger, people always love to look at the younger photos, right? So that's something which I do. And so in the process, I connected with HRs from Fortune 500 companies. I connected with people from the UN. I connected people from the World Economic Forum. I connected with people from Della Leaders Club. So many different organizations reached out to me. I got so many speaking opportunities. I shared my journey so many times. Now people don't want to hear about it anymore. So, these things, this is what matters. If you have a structured approach and if you want to sell your products, I don't think people are going to take you very seriously. You'll be like a salesman running behind people with your product, right? And nobody wants those people. Like if somebody comes to your house and says that, Bhaiya, do you want this product? You'll be like, no, I'm busy. If I want it, I'll order it online. You please concentrate on your work.
Right, absolutely. So, so tell me something. I'll just step back also a little bit. You started this entire agency of yours where you have a LinkedIn consultancy. You went from MBA to, let's say.
I started with BBA, then I went to MBA, then I applied for 6 jobs, got rejected from all of them, and then I lost my mind. I was like, I'll give a job to people. I don't want your jobs. You can keep your jobs. So I started my own PR agency, and then that PR agency shut down during COVID because I was getting no work, and then I pivoted to LinkedIn. And I right now handle 20-25 international profiles from Israel, UK, US, and I help them generate more leads in their business.
Excellent. So again, the mindset worked, the fighting spirit worked, and you bounced back and back and back again, and here you are now. So tell me something. How do people, like laymen, like suppose people who are looking for a job, or people who already have their business, or people who are in a professional engagement already, how best can they utilize LinkedIn as a tool?
If you want to utilize LinkedIn as a tool, you should be unprofessional on LinkedIn. I don't mean message people that do you want to go out on a date with me, but that won't work. But what works is share your personal values or personal journey, or things which are personal. People are too busy becoming professional on LinkedIn, and that rarely works. Again, a few days back, I got a message. Somebody connected with me. Sumit, you are very inspirational. Like, thank you. Second message. Do you want to buy Aquaguard from me? Yeah. So I'm like, why? I just blocked that person.
No, but I think you're absolutely right, because I get a ton of messages like these, that you want to buy this, you want to buy that, and I'm offering this, and half the time it does put me off, and I don't even read through them all. But we are sitting here today together, and I think one of your sketches first gave me an awareness of what you were doing, the way you were storytelling, and the way the whole thing was coming out from you, the content. I think that's one of the reasons we are sitting here. But had you sent me a sales pitch or a sales message, so this probably wouldn't have happened.
I have never sent a sales pitch in my entire life.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, so I think I'm most excited now to wait for the course to come up on Master Mentors, where I can get to know how to use LinkedIn to its immense potential that it has. I myself have not been using LinkedIn, for my own personal use. We've talked about that. But from this course, I'm sure I'll know how to network with the right people, how to go about LinkedIn, how to increase my connections. And I think a lot of people out there will greatly be benefited by this course. So thank you so much for the masterclass, for doing the masterclass with us. And I'm sure it will be a very good effort. And well, glad to have you with us.
It's a pleasure. I just hope people implement what they hear on this course. It will benefit them greatly.
We'll make sure they do.